it's up to you to drift up.
Rolling. I'm going to start off, give a mighty and a hearty Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Sah Barakatham to the nation of Israel, who are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Don't know their heritage today. Shalom.
Shalom.
Somebody give me John 3:16 real quick. Let's keep it super milky, like Brother Yishmael said. Super milky on me.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Come here, word, sister.
John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. Hey, this is the #1 favorite scripture, man, for most Christians, man. This is what you see on the back of people's tags when they riding by. This is what you see on the shirts. This is what you see a lot of celebrities wearing, man, that John 3:16, right? Say, whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but have everlasting life, right? Let's find out who the world is. Everybody knows just standing up here. But for people that might watch this that don't know, you know, we're gonna keep it simple for you. Read that for me.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Right. So the world without end is the children of Israel, man.
That's right.
That's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That should be very clear and plain if you haven't heard that already, man. So how can the world mean the whole planet? Give me Psalms 90, verse 2. You know, people want to believe that the word world means the whole planet. Hey, sister, can I ask you a quick question real quick? 2 minutes. You believe in the Bible?
Kinda.
Kinda. What do you believe in?
I actually believe in a
Higher power? What is that higher power? How does that higher power benefit you?
So not typically just the Bible. It's more believing in just a higher
Oh, okay, okay.
somebody or something greater than us, like the earth.
Right.
Everything's kind of like that.
How has believing in that higher power benefited your life today, up to this point today?
So I think it's been different as far as being religious versus spiritual.
So you kind of believe in like the laws of attraction, whatever you think about comes to you, stuff like that. Okay, just check. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. All right. Hey, that's what the heathens think, man. I don't even know what that I ain't get her nationality, but you believe in a higher power? You believe in the universe? Well, who created the universe?
Bring that out.
Why are you believing in lesser things, man? Hey, but that was probably a heathen, man. She can believe what she want to believe. Don't give a damn what you got.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 90 and verse 2.
Right.
Before the mountains were brought forth, or even the world was formed, or ever thou hast formed the earth or the worlds, like you.
Right. Read it one more time, bro.
Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the worlds.
Right. So there's a distinction here in Psalms verse 90, man. He breaks down the earth, he breaks down the worlds. Now, why did he separate those two words in that? Because the earth, and it's different worlds in this thing, man. It's different worlds. Every nationality is a world unto itself. If you haven't figured that out yet, right? Read what you got, brother.
James chapter 3 and verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members that is defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature.
So in this book, James 3 and 6, he's making it clear some distinctions between the different worlds. So read it one more time.
James chapter 3 and verse 6.
Right.
And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity.
All right, so the tongue is a world of iniquity, the Lord says, man. Why does he say that? Because there are certain things that are just a world all unto themselves. Got it already?
This is the book of John, chapter 17 and verse 9.
Right.
I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me.
Come on.
For they are thine, and all are mine, and mine are thine. And I am glorified in them.
Right. One more time for me. Salaki.
I pray for them.
Right.
I pray not for the world.
Now, why does he say, I pray not for the world? Now, in this context, you know, that's not just talking about the world of Israel. He's not praying for everybody on this planet, man. He's not praying for other nationalities, man. We're not wishing well for the heathens. We're not wanting wonderful things, man, for the people that are oppressing us, that are rape, robbing, and murdering our people. Hey, sister, hey, come back 2 seconds. I got $10 for you. $10 for you if you can prove that God loves everybody in the Bible. With one verse. What do you believe in? You're spiritual. Okay, what does that mean though?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
I don't believe in religion.
What you don't believe in religion?
No.
So you don't believe in religion. We don't believe in religion either. But you don't believe in the Bible.
Right.
Because you think the Bible
it's a good book.
It's a good book. So what kind of books do you read to enlighten your spirit?
I actually don't read.
You don't read?
Yeah.
So how do you know that being spiritual is a good book?
How do you know they're being? I mean, I don't know.
You don't know? What's your nationality?
I'm native.
You're native to this land, to the Americas, so you're the original, quote-unquote, Indian, right? Do you know that you would be from the tribe of Gad, according to the Bible? The Bible is not a spiritual book. It is spiritual, but it's not a religious book. It's a book about a people and the nationality of people. Well, it's your story. You just have not heard it talk to you that way. So, right. The native Indians that were here, y'all written about this book. Did you know that? Would you like to hear, or? Okay. Hey, somebody drop that. Go to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. So we're gonna see if this is somebody else's story or is this real world history. All right, we're gonna figure that out. So 28. Start at 28:1. So what we're about to read right here is an account. The children of Israel, you know who they say that Israel were, and they say that they're the Jewish people and all that, right? But what you haven't heard before is that the real Jews are black, so-called black. The real Jews are the Negroes. To an extent, the Gadites, the native Indians that were here, those are the Israelites. So your heritage has been stripped away from you. Do you even know what the word Indian means? When you go into the etymology of the word, it means savage. So you had these devils come over here, right? Take your land, and had the nerve to call you a savage. But that was prophesied in the Bible that would happen to you. You never heard that before? So I'm gonna read you a quick list, and I'm gonna show you why your people, how they ended up over in the place. Look at that, Deuteronomy 21, and then skip to 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken diligently, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So the Lord is saying to a group of people, the Israelites, if y'all would keep these statutes and commandments that I set up for you, I'm going to make you higher than all nations that are on the face of the earth. So nation means nationality. A nation is a race. So Lord is saying, I'm going to make this nation of people better than everybody else on the planet. And if you keep my commandments. Let's skip to 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Right.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if these people don't keep my commandments, there's a list of curses also that are going to apply to these people, and they're going to be overtaken. So basically the descendants of those people, which will be us, are being cursed to this day, but that curse is not going to last forever. Give us some curses. Let's start at 16. So tell me, is this just, his story, like you say, somebody else's story? Let's find out. Now tell me who these curses fit when you look at our people, right? Let's go.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So our people are cursed in the city and they're cursed in the field. Being cursed in the city means we're the ones with the highest poverty rate. We the ones in the hood. We the ones that make the least amount of wages. When you consider CEOs and who really manages most of companies, who really has their own businesses, you know what I'm saying? We are the ones that have the highest abortion rate. We are the ones that have the highest STD rate. Does that make sense? So he says what? We're cursed in the what?
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city.
We're cursed in the city, and then what?
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field. Now, who was in the field when you went, right? Who was in the field? We was in the field doing what?
Cotton.
Picking cotton. In other countries where we were scattered to also, like this brother, yeah, like for instance, like Cuba, Puerto Rico. Haven't you ever seen black people over there too? Haven't you ever wondered like how that,
How they get there?
yeah, how they get there, right? 'Cause that's a prophecy of the curses in the Bible. We got scattered because of our wickedness.
What do you identify as?
I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
My nationality is Israel. I come from Jerusalem.
Come!
So let's get to hey brother, can a brother give me Genesis 49 and 19? We're gonna learn about the Indians, the so-called Indians real quick that was here. Genesis 49, start at 49 and 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49.
Go ahead. You're finna learn your real history, right?
Okay.
So how did the Indians get here, based on what you know and understand?
How did they get here?
Yeah, how did the
I'm learning right now. I'm
Okay,
listening.
okay, go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Jacob called to his sons and said, gather yourself together.
So Jacob in this book is another name for Israel, right? That's another story for another day, but go ahead.
That I should tell you what may befall you in the last days.
So Jacob, the man Israel, gathered all his sons together, and he said, let me tell you what's gonna happen to you in the last days. You ever heard people say we living in the end times, the last days? That's a fact. This is because you see all the war, all the rumors of war, you see all the pestilence. Wouldn't you consider COVID-19 to be a pestilence, right? And it's about to get worse, right?
Right.
So, keep
Supposed to, yeah.
going. Right.
Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob.
Right. So the sons of Jacob are the 12 tribes of Israel. So on this sign, so this would be you, right here. You see that? Native Americans from the tribe of Gad. So when he said, gather my sons together, these are the 12 sons he was talking about. This would be your forefather, Gad, or possibly Reuben, the Seminole Indians. So the Seminole Indians made up most of like Florida, like the southeast type.
Okay, I'm from Mississippi.
Okay, so
I'm not
I'm from Mississippi too, Jackson actually.
I'm from Greenville, Mississippi.
Yeah, I know where you're at. So skip down to 19.
Verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Gad, a troop shall overcome him. Now, if this was real world history, would you say that that's what happened to the Native Americans?
Repeat that.
Would you say that that's what happened to the Native Americans?
I didn't hear you.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 19.
Get out.
Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
So a troop shall overcome him is referring to when the so-called white man came over here, right? Learn all of the ways of the indigenous people.
Right.
Learn how to grow crops.
Right.
Learn how to wash their body.
Get everything out.
Yeah, exactly. And then what did they do to those people?
Enslave.
And slaughter them, right?
Yeah.
Kill most of them, right? So read that one more time.
Verse 19, Gad, a troop shall overcome him,
Right.
but he shall overcome at the last.
Fine. So a troop shall overcome him. So that actually happened. So back, you want to curse him? All right. Give me some more person. You can start at 32. Give me 32. Your host, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32.
So now we're back on the list of the curses, right? Because I want you to understand that this book is prophecy. God says something in this book, and then it happens thousands of years later. That would mean that this book is true. The problem is we've been learning this book from the so-called white man, from our enemies, from the same people that killed us. That brother right there, right there, with the staff and the bandana, he's a Native American too. And this brother is Native American as well. So you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Oh, you're not God? Ephraim, I'm sorry, Salaki. Okay. Keep going. 32. So here's some more curses just to help identify who our people are. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all the day long.
So, did you hear that? This is one of the curses. You heard what it said? So one of the curses we heard first was you'd be cursed in the city and cursed in the field, right? So what he just read it again for the sister. This is another curse.
Verse 32.
Right?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So did that happen to the so-called black man, so-called Indian man? Right? Keep going.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So what the so-called white man would do is take our families and then divide us up based on how much money he can make. So he'll sell your mother, he'll sell your sister, your daughter, you know what I'm saying? Real world history, right? Read on.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
So there'll be nothing you can do about it, right? It's one of the curses from the Most High. Give me 36.
Verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Did you hear that? Read it one more time for the sister.
Verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
So the Lord said as a part of one of these curses, he's going to bring our people to a nation that we've never known. Now, wouldn't you say that happened to the so-called African-American man? Right? Go to 48 from you. 42. Yeah, go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and
so,
stone.
Skip to 42 first.
Verse 42. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume.
Right, so that means everything that we do in this land where the Lord is going to send to us, everything we do is going to be eaten up. We're not really going to be prospering like the other nations. We're going to be in a lower state. Keep going.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So the strangers that were around about us shall become higher than us, right? Who would be the strangers? The other nations, so-called white men, right? So they came over here, they got higher than y'all because they destroyed y'all, took everything you had. Why? They came with guns, y'all just had bow and arrows, you know what I'm saying? And tomahawks and all that, go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Right, so your people will come down very low to a lower state where you are today. Keep going.
He shall lend to thee,
right?
And thou shalt lend to him. He shall be the head.
Read it again. He shall lend.
He shall lend to thee.
So this so-called white man is able to lend to us through their banking system and their financial systems, right? Have you ever seen a black-owned bank? A black-owned bank? Or do you know of any in? Say it again?
They're rare.
Right, they don't, yeah, I have never seen one, you know what I mean? So have you ever seen an indigenous owned bank that's thriving across the continent? Right, so we start right there again.
He shall lend to thee.
So these people that are going to destroy you, they're going to be able to lend to you. Keep going.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
Right.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
So the bottom line is you're an Israelite. The Bible is your real history. You don't really, no, we got a sister there. Take a picture of that sign right there if you would, and just do some research on the Israelites. You're going to find out that you've been lied to in school. You've been lied to about your history. You say I'm dealing with one of the OGs. You got a question, brother?
What
you say? What you say?
I said y'all got my people that care about me.
All right, you good?
I know.
All right.
We care about you too, sir.
You an Israelite. You got to keep the commandments.
One underneath the door?
Brother said you're Muslim.
Oh yeah. Been waiting on you, brother. How you doing today? Why are you?
He ready.
What's your nationality, bro?
He just asked me the same question. I guess I have to say on the back.
Okay. So you the color of your socks? Right. So why when you ask a Chinese man what's his nationality, he don't say I'm yellow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why when you ask a so-called white person what their nationality is, they gonna start naming off the countries that their history is from.
If I would ask you, what would you say?
I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
my nationality is Israel. Right? And that's what's been hidden from our people. We don't even know who we are as a people because the Lord put a curse on his people. We're God's chosen people. The Quran even says that, right? You read the Quran? Are you very proficient in the Quran?
Not very proficient, but
how long you been a Muslim, bro?
I accepted Islam in the year 2016.
All right. Who got a Google? Who got Google for it? Yeah, fine. So
is that in Arabic?
Yeah, that's a Quran. Can you read this one? So you say your nationality is black. So who taught us that we were black? You learned that in school, right? How old are you, brother?
30.
30, okay. So we learned that in school that we were black, right?
Correct.
So how did we get over here? Slave ship. Who brought us over here? Europeans. So start at Deuteronomy 1. Can we show you something real quick? We'll show you something. Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Just so you know, the Bible is my source of guidance.
You use the Quran, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I read the Quran too. I'm gonna show you something. So you got it. 2:122. 2:122. Surah 3 and 3.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Right.
These were the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan,
right,
in the wilderness,
right,
the Red Sea between Paran and Topel and Laban and Hazarah, and Gilead.
So does the Quran speak about the children of Israel? Because that's who we are.
Yeah, all the time.
So how can you say when the Quran makes references to the Bible that you don't read, that you don't believe it?
Well, it says the Torah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Whose book?
It says what?
Torah.
He's gonna read it. Surah 3 and 3.
The Prophet Musa.
Yeah. You gonna read it? You gonna read it? Go ahead. Surah 3 and 3. Yeah. Surah. You know, fine.
Y'all mind if I capture some of this?
No, go ahead, bro.
I ain't gonna get y'all on camera, just the
we got a stop. So this is out the Quran for you right now.
Okay, I'm listening.
Quran.
Verse 3.
He has revealed to you, O prophet, the book and truth, confirming what came before it, as he revealed the Torah and the gospel.
So read it one more time. Slow it down.
It's chapter 3, verse 3. He has revealed to you, O prophet.
So Allah has revealed to you, O prophet, go ahead,
the book and truth.
the book, which is the truth,
Right? The Bible.
Go ahead.
Confirming what came before it.
Confirming what came before it. So what book came before it?
In jail.
The Injil
Yeah.
came before this?
Yes.
Did the Bible come before that?
Well, the Injil is what y'all would consider the Bible. What was revealed to the prophet.
So
Isa.
what year was Islam created? What century?
Well, the very first people.
And what year was Islam, the creation of Islam? That was in the
like
600s?
600 years after.
So what happened in 600 AD? I don't know the exact, but it's in the 600s. So what, 600 years? So what were we doing before all of that? And how did we start to become this religion?
I don't know. Well, I do know, but I want you to
That's
say.
what I was just saying. So if that's one of the newest religions on the whole planet, how can you put your faith in it? Why is that? What made you choose Islam over?
It just makes a whole bunch of sense.
Okay, tell me what makes sense.
Well, there's only one God. He's ready to be worshipped alone.
Right.
No intermediary, no intercessor, nothing.
Right. But when we just read in Surah 3 and 3, he said the book that came before it. And then go to 2 and 122.
family.
Just Sirach. Sirach 3.
Sirach 3. He has revealed to you, O prophet, the book in truth. What came before it, as he revealed the Torah and the gospel.
So what is the Torah? Do you know?
Yeah, it's the tablets.
That's the first 5 books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, which were given by Moses.
Correct.
Right? So why is your book telling you to read that book? Telling you that that book is important, but you're saying, well, you don't really follow the tenets of God. So you're saying something's wrong here. We got a disconnect, right? Read Deuteronomy 7:6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So there is only one God. Deuteronomy 6:4.
You agree
There
with
is
that?
one God. Huh?
You agree with that?
Yeah. There's only one God. Christianity tells you that there's, you know.
Read that again, please.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Talking about the people on this side, the children of Israel, the nation of Israel, which is more than likely what you are. Go ahead.
The Lord our God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
The Lord has one chosen special people on this planet. Keep going.
Unto himself.
Unto himself.
Above all nation people.
Equal with the white man.
Above all people.
Right.
That are upon the face of the earth.
Right. So
above all people.
That are
upon the face of the earth.
That's what it says. That's the Torah.
Who is speaking and who is he speaking to?
This is God talking to Moses. Moses talking to the children of Israel. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Read it again for me.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people upon the face of the earth.
You hold Deuteronomy 28 still? Read 28 and 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 1.
Read out.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all these commandments which I command me this day, that the Lord thy God shall set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So if we keep the commandments, we're going to be set on high above all nations of the earth, right? So does that mean, that means there's no equality? That would mean God is a racist. Because a nation is literally a race of people. In case you, do you believe that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so when people say the nation of Islam, Islam is not a nationality. So that's why you don't know where you come from. Islam is a religion that was set up by men. You read the Hadith?
Absolutely.
Which one? Al-Bukhari?
Sahih Muslim.
Okay, come. Anybody got a Hadith? Probably not. Read that, Khan. Hadith 1 and 63 for me. Al-Bukhari. And do that 1, 2, and 122 for me. So the Lord just said, I'm going to set you on high above all nations. He just said, we're not equal to the other people here. Let's see what this book says about the children of Israel. Your book. Go ahead.
Chapter 2, verse 122. O children of Israel.
Oh, what?
O children of Israel.
Oh, what?
O children of Israel.
That's Allah. Right? Keep going.
Remember my favors upon you and how I honored you above the others.
What does that mean? So if this book came before this book, and this book is telling you to go back to this book for the foundation, and they both saying the same thing, which one would you say has more credence, brother?
Was that the same book that the Quran tells us to follow?
The Quran is a false religion, is what I'm trying to get to. The Quran was set up by the white man. Islam was set up by the white man so that you don't know that you are the children of Israel.
Well, the
that you
Prophet Muhammad
keep.
said that there ain't no person greater than the other except by their faith, not by the color of your skin.
Let's see what Muhammad said.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You never really heard about Muhammad and his endeavors before the sub-Saharan slave trade.
Right. So we learned to be Muslims during the sub-Saharan slave. We were slaves to the Arabs, and they beat Islam into you, and that tradition got passed down through the generations.
No different.
Just like they beat Christianity and white Jesus into us, and that tradition got passed down through the generations. So these are not your heritage. This is one of the curses the Lord put on these people, because we didn't keep the commandments back then. And now we're back to waking up to our nationality, keeping the commandments, and the Most High wants to bring us out of our lower state. He don't want us on the poverty, at the bottom of the poverty level anymore. He don't want us to have the highest abortion rates. He don't want us to have the highest HIV/AIDS rates, STD rates. He's ready to lift us up out. So if you really think about it, this book ain't really done nothing for our people as a whole. This book, when it was taught to us by the white man, hadn't done anything for our people as a whole. But once we learned that we're Israelites, according to the thus says the Lord, hey, we're building our nation back up through the Spirit of the Most High. You got brothers up here loving each other. You got brothers looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? But read that hadith for me, 163.
Of the unholy Quran, the hadith 163. You want to read it for yourself? While we were sitting with the Prophet in the mosque, a man came riding on a camel. He made his camel kneel down in the mosque, tied it for a leg, and then said, "Who amongst you is Muhammad?" At that time, the Prophet was sitting amongst us, his companions, leaning on his arm. We replied, "This white man."
This what?
This white man.
No, Muhammad is a black man.
This white man.
Right?
Reclining on his arm.
Right. So why would your book say that, bro? If it was valid. You see this sign right here? Look what the white man did to us. Told us that the Bible was not about one nation of people. When you just heard with your own ears, he said, I'm gonna set my people above all nationalities on the planet. That's racist as hell. But you get these people up, bring these people over here, beat Christianity into them, and then they start breaking it down into Baptists, Pentecostal, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, confusing the hell out of our people. You understand? Same thing they did with Islam and our people in the sub-Saharan slave trade. Does that make sense? So you never read that in the hadith, right? Now you got to go read it again. You know, which version that you got, they all said the same thing. Yeah, Muhammad was a white man. Farouk, what's his name? Farouk Muhammad? Farouk? Yeah. Yeah, he was a non-melanated man. So the whole reason these things have happened to us is because we didn't keep the commandments. Deuteronomy 28:1 again. So let's go through a quick list. I don't know how much time you got. I don't want to keep you. You got to go. But just tell me, we're going to show you that this book is not a book of down fairy tale. These are prophecies out of the mouth of the one true God. When the Most High speaks a thing, that thing comes to pass.
That's right.
There are no prophecies in the Quran. And if that's not true, please prove these brothers wrong right now. Nothing in this book, Allah said thousands of years later is going to happen, have come to pass. It's just a whole bunch of feel good, tickle your damn guts, and make you feel like, you know what I'm saying, ain't no prophecies. But this, we're going to prove. Hey, give me what you got real quick, Brother Ray.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
So you said that, right? There's only one God. Keep going.
Verse 5, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
That's enough on that. The water. So the point is, it is only one God. It's just, you just didn't know his name was not Allah. His name is Yahweh. The original language of the planet is Hebrew. So that's what we are, Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites. Are you a so-called black man, African American? You would be a Hebrew Israelite according to the Most High Yahweh. From the tribe of Judah, right? You know how to read Hebrew? We all know how to read Hebrew. Yeah. The original Hebrew, not this modern day white boy Yiddish. Yeah. The original Hebrew, yes. That's our language. So we coming back to our nationality as a whole. Learning our customs, our heritage, our food, our dietary law, learning how to treat our women the right way according to the Lord, learning how to take care of our children. Now you got fathers not leaving their households anymore. Now you got fathers taking care of their kids, standing up, being mighty. Now you got brothers not want to just shoot each other because they step on your shoe, you know, in the club. Because, you know, you don't want to see your brother low, he needs something, you the first one there to take care of your brother, man. We back to loving our people. That's the scariest thing to America. Do you understand that? Seeing us come together, man. Why do you think this nation of people keep killing us, man, and getting away with it? Because they don't, why do you think they keep separating the fathers out of the household? Putting them in jail on trumped up charges, right? Because there is an agenda against you, Mr. Somebody, to make sure that you don't know who you are according to the word. Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Right, sir. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which he commanded this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right, so the Lord said once we keep the commandments, he's going to make us higher than all nationalities on the planet. Skip down to 15. This is what's going to happen to our people if we don't keep the commandments of the Most High God. Go ahead.
Verse 15, But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments, his statutes, which he commanded this day,
Right.
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. 16.
Verse 16.
So here's a list of some of the curses that apply to our people only. Our people. You cannot look at any other nationality and see that these things are happening to these people. And this is how we know who we are. First of all, go to 46 real quick.
Verse 46.
Yeah.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
These curses are going to be a sign of who we are. Go ahead.
And for a wonder.
You're going to sit there and wonder about this thing when you read these things in the last days. You're going to be like, damn, that do sound like my people, man. You're going to literally sit and wonder. Keep going.
Upon thy seed forever.
The seed are the children. So the Lord is saying these signs and these wonders are going to be on the seed of the Israelites forever, right? So let's go back up to 16. Here's a list of the curses.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Who's cursed? What nation of people is more cursed in the city than the so-called black man, Hispanic man? Not one. And I don't even have to go down the list. That's plain to you, right? Keep going.
And cursed shalt thou be in the fields.
Now, what people would have been cursed in the fields? You already know, right? So-called black man, right? So-called Hispanic man too, because you got Cubans that are like, you got Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Those are still the children of Israel. You got Guatemalans, you got Nicaraguans, you got Chileans, you know what I mean? Those people got scattered. You ever seen dark-ass people like us? Because they are our people. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the skin complexion. I'm just saying that's how they got there. But when they was there, they was cursed in the fields. Here you had cotton fields. There you had tobacco fields.
Sugarcane.
You had sugarcane fields. So cursed in the field, cursed in the city. Keep going.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Cursed shall be thy basket and that store. That means whatever you put your hand to do, it shall not be prosperous here in the land of your enemies. You got another one?
Verse 54.
I got you. Stay right there. So check this out. Tell me if this curse right here fits anybody that you know. Go ahead.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
Right. He says tender and delicate because at one time before we broke the commandments and got punished, we were really tender and delicate to our brothers. We weren't violent with one another. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't fighting and shooting each other. There wasn't no Crips and no Bloods. That makes sense? Yeah. Keep going.
His eye should be evil toward his brother.
So one of the curses, he's going to take your tender eye for your brother and turn it into an evil eye for your brother. That's why you got gangs now. MS-13, Vatos, Crips and Bloods, and we all killing each other over territory that don't even damn belong to you. How you gonna kill somebody over a block? You can barely pay your damn rent. Keep going.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Right, so you're gonna be. So your eye is also gonna be. You listening, brother?
I'm listening to you.
So your eye is also gonna be evil toward the wife of your bosom, which means you're gonna abuse your wife. You're gonna leave her. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
What did he say about the children of the so-called Hispanic and black man, Native American? What about him?
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
So your eye is going to be evil towards your children. Now, what nationality of people have the highest rate of, deadbeat dads, single-parent households? Does that sound like the Japanese man, Chinese man, white man? Does that sound like the Arabians, where Islam comes from? Is that happening in their house? So let's talk about you, brother. Keep going.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat.
All right, keep going.
Because he have nothing left in his siege and in the straightness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Go to 48. Same list of curses. We just showing you what prophecy looks like. Again, you don't get no prophecies in the Bible. This is thousands of years ago, happening as of today because the Lord said it would do so. Right? 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send thee, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Start over for the brother Chris. Listen, brother. Right.
Verse 48. Right. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
He sent the so-called white man against us to bring us here. The Lord did that. Go ahead.
In hunger.
Right? He sent we have to serve our enemies for hunger. Now, what does that mean? I'll break it and make it quick. Anytime you want to get anything to eat here in the land of your enemies, you have to, that money goes back to them some kind of way. Chick-fil-A, Kroger, Krispy Kreme, Walmart, don't damn matter, anything. Even if you got a black-owned restaurant, they still had to go through the white man to get the license to be allowed to do it. They still got to get the bulk of their food from somebody that owns a major, you know what I'm saying, conglomerate food company. You know what I'm saying?
And in thirst.
Right. Even the same thing for the water. Whatever you drink, you got to go to your enemies. Keep going.
And in nakedness.
Right. And for your clothing. Right. Right. We out here killing each other over clothing, man. We fight and boasting ourselves over clothing, man. Right. Dolce and Gabbana is your enemy. Versace is your enemy. Chanel is your enemy. Hey, Nike is your enemy. Right. Keep going.
And in one of all things.
In one of all things, you got to go to your enemy, the so-called white man. I know Islam believe the white man is your enemy, or do you love the white man?
Nah, I just told you everybody equal.
Everybody's equal?
Yeah, only thing that separates you is your piety.
Right. Okay.
God country.
All right, so let's get to the point. Get to brother 48. So this is one of the main curses on the list and how we know who we are according to the Bible. Read that.
Verse 68.
Right.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Hold on, before you do that, Exodus 20 and 2, somebody. Exodus 20 and 2. So, yeah, this is Deuteronomy 28. This is the list of blessings and curses that only fit one nationality. So the brother's about to read to you a very, very monumental and historical fact, right?
After you read, I ain't got too much longer.
That's all right.
Yeah. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2.
Let's do this.
And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt is referred to as the house of bondage. So sometimes when you see the word Egypt in the Bible, it's talking about slavery. So let's find out how this applies to you, so-called black people.
Verse 68. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Slavery.
Again.
Why does it say again? Because the first time we was in slavery in history, we were under the Egyptians. Pharaoh, Moses, let my people go. I'm going to put you back in. Now, did we ever go back to Egypt? No. So that's how you know he's talking about bondage and slavery. I'm going to put you back into slavery. Go ahead.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
How do we get over here? You said it yourself. How do we get over here?
Slave ship.
What did the Bible just say? Right?
Jesus, the name of the ship was Jesus.
It was the good ship Jesus. Right? Keep going.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
You're not going to see your homeland, Jerusalem, Israel, your homeland. That's really where you're from again. Go ahead.
And there you should be sold unto your enemies.
You hear that? Who you sold to?
Your enemy.
Right? Who's your enemy? Because you just said everybody's equal. Right. What'd you say? Right. So what did the Lord just call the so-called nationality that brought you into slave ships?
Say it again. You say it again.
And there you should be sold unto your enemies.
Right. Keep going.
For bondmen.
Slave men on the auction block. Go ahead.
And bondwomen.
Slave women on the auction block. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
Nobody's going to redeem us out of this slavery until the Lord does it himself. Right? So far you just read.
Who's the Lord?
Yahweh. Bashem.
Yahweh?
That's his name. In Hebrew.
You're not talking about Jesus, are you?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. What does Elohim mean in Hebrew?
It means many gods.
Many gods?
More than one. It's plural. Alahayim is how you would say it in Hebrew.
What does that mean?
I just told you.
Same thing? Or just a different variation of the word?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you convinced that you're a Hebrew Israelite?
Oh, most definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you still think your nationality is just black?
I know for certain.
That makes sense?
Like, yeah, I ain't studied very much. Before I accepted Islam, I used to study Hebrew Israelite.
So why'd you leave Israel? Why'd you leave your first love?
Well, because it's not a religion, right?
What's not a religion? Yo, this is your bloodline.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can't go study the doctrines of your enemy and still call yourself a child of the Most High. Most High destroyed you.
Yeah.
So he's giving you a second chance. He let you walk by here today.
Give me something I can use to study on my own time.
Deuteronomy 28, the whole chapter.
Y'all ain't got no little pamphlet in there?
No, you can take a picture of that right there.
I did.
Yeah, and that's our YouTube. We got main YouTube, many channels also that you can go to. You can also do YouTube Watchmen for Israel. That's the name of the group.
Watchmen.
like our headquarters is in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, so yeah, kind of, hey Dick, if you started there, hey, get back to you. That's your heritage.
Yeah.
The Most High is going to send His Son back.
Yeah.
The world calls Jesus. His name is Yahweh. There was no
Yahweh.
Yahweh. So Yahweh is the Father, Yahweh is the Son.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So when He sends His Son back, right, He's coming back for the nation of Israel that are keeping the commandments. Yeah. So the whole point is we have to keep the commandments. Yeah. We're the only people that have a dietary law from the Most High.
Well, how much is that altered from the original? You said because the original language is Hebrew, right?
Right.
How much different is that y'all read today?
I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
I ain't coming to challenge you on that.
No, even if you did, yeah, all good, brother. So you an Israelite, brother. Hey, you gotta put this in the fireplace. Man.
Nah, man, I can't go for that.
Can't
Hey,
go for that?
I appreciate y'all, boy, man.
Who will stand up? I got it. Go ahead.
Psalm 94 in verse 16.
Gotcha.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Right.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Hey, that's the children of Israel, man. We the only ones standing up against wickedness, man. Hey, brother, sister, y'all got 5 minutes for the Bible?
I'm sorry.
Can I get 2 minutes, brother?
For the Lord, we reading the Bible. Come on now.
Hey, the Lord said, who will stand up for me against wickedness, man? Against the wickedness of Babylon, man. We sat here and told the brother the history of the book that he don't even know about, man. Told him where it came from. Went through the scripture, his scriptures broke him down, and he still, hey, the Lord don't want that man to get it, man. Most I willing, maybe he'll get it, be a different time. Hey, but when, go ahead. Hey, Jay could do that though. Jay could just sit there and be entertained, man. Just give me Ezekiel chapter 35, 33. Jake, you say you already there? Already. Come. Hey, Jay could just come by and entertain himself like this is a damn fashion show, man. Like we up here playing a violin, you know, trying to, you know, rock his ass to sleep, man. Isaiah 30 and 10, brother. Hey, brother kind of had me speechless right there. I thought for a minute he was gonna be like, okay, check this out. I'm an Israelite. Hey, what they doing? Huh? Okay. So, hey, take it. Might have to go and take another 10. Con, go ahead and read what you got.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 10. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things.
That's what Jake want to hear, man. He want to hear the wonderful, buttery, applesauce, apple pie, chocolate cake things, man. He want to hear wonderful, smooth things to tickle his face and make him feel good about his wickedness, man. Hey, brother, you got 2 minutes for the Bible?
Maybe, but not really, man. I'm pretty impressed. I'm on vacation, man.
All right, brother.
Man, I do the Israelites and people though, man, so I understand.
All right, brother. Come. Hey. There go another. He said, I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I understand that you walking around with no friends.
On the Sabbath?
On the Sabbath day, talking about I'm on vacation. Shopping, buying, selling. All manner of wickedness, man. Daughter all out of order, whatever that was, right? Daughter in pants, wife in pants, other daughter in pants. Hey, this place is done.
You on vacation from being a Hebrew.
Right. You on Hebrew vacation. And you on vacation from being a Hebrew. What you got, brother? Something else? Ezekiel 3:11. Con, go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 11. And go, get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you no matter what. We're going to cry aloud and spare not, man. Right. We're not going to give a damn about your feelings, man. 35, 33? 33, 35. Yeah, started verse 30. You got more on that? Okay, hold on.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people coming.
So these people, this brother, this damn Islamite, just walked up here as he was one of our brothers, talking about I used to be an Israelite. You know, hey, now I'm Allah's servant. Go ahead.
And they sit before thee as my people.
That's what he just did. Sat before us as if he was one of our people. Keep going.
And they hear thy word.
They hear the words that are coming out of the Bible. You break it down plain to them through the Spirit, praying that they might get the understanding. But what do?
But they will not do them.
What do they do?
But they will not do them.
That's exactly what he did. He heard the words, agreed with them, and still chose not to do them. Keep going.
For with their mouth they shew much love.
Didn't he do that? Didn't he reach out his hand and say, I love you, brothers, man. I ain't got no, I used to be an Israelite, man. Keep going.
But their heart goeth after covetousness.
But their heart goeth after covetousness, man. Wicked, vile things, man. Self-pleasing things, man. Things that just make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all believe in the Bible shirt and the white shirt? You don't believe in it? Okay. Yeah. You already hit them up, dude. Anybody else hold something else?
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1.
Right.
Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins.
Right. Playing on tables. Give me Proverbs 14 and 1. Give me 2nd Ezra 5 and 42. Brother, give me Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 20. Man, I hate this place, man. I'm ready for this place to just get the business, man. I don't know about y'all, man. Brother kind of ready for the wilderness, man. I'm ready to see these damn zombies around here, man. And the spiritual zombies, you know what I'm talking about. I'm ready to see these Egyptians against the Egyptians, like I said.
God.
I'm ready to hear about these neighbors kicking in doors, man. Hey, killing kids over some saltine crackers and a half-drink bottle of water. I'm ready to see this place go down. Hey, do y'all believe in the Bible, sister? You okay? You okay? Hey, whoever got what? Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Right.
Bring it out.
His severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword.
Hey, the severe wrath of the Lord, man, is going to fall on this place, man. That's why we out here crying aloud, sparing not, man, trying to wake up our people through love, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, man. And they hear these words, and they do them not. Keep going.
And the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
And the what?
And the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
Now, how is it that Jesus loves the world, God loves the whole world, and Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 20, he's saying the world is going to fight with him against the unwise. Who are the unwise? Hey, the other nations, man. The 2/3 of Israel that don't want to keep these commandments. So that's another cut for John 3 and 16, man. The world is going to fight with Yahweh, right? Rounding up these other nations, putting chains on your neck, right? The world of Israel, pursuant to Isaiah 45 and 17. Any more on that? Go ahead.
Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad.
Hey, that's the ICBM missiles. Hey, coming to turn this place to dust. Go ahead.
And from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark.
Right. God. Is it on that?
And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow. And the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away.
And y'all believe in the Bible, sisters?
Do we believe in the Bible?
Yeah. You got 2 minutes for a Bible verse of the day? Alright, y'all know what it is. Get it ready. Come on, brother. How you doing today, sir? You alright? You believe in the Bible too, bro? So, Deuteronomy 28. So, I got a question for you. Do you think what Jesus mattered, what he looked like mattered? You don't think it matters? Do you think this is what he looks like in the Bible? Daniel 7 and 9, Daniel 5 and 10. Revelation 1 and 13. You think this is what he looks like? This is what we've learned all our life. Right. Right, that ain't the way it is. So why, if it doesn't matter, why is this the image that's being perpetuated throughout the planet? If you think about it. These questions should be asked because is there a description of the Lord in the Bible? He had woolly hair, right? So you already know that precept, right? And they said he had feet like what? Like brass, as if it what? Burned in that furnace, right? So what is, brass is a derivative of what color? Brown. So if you take something brown and put it in a furnace, go ahead and bring it out for it. It's going to be even darker brown, right? Right? So let's find out if it matters. Because in the book of Revelation, revelation means the revealing of. John, right? Read that.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
in the midst of the candlesticks,
one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Son of Man had he was clothed in a long robe down to the foot.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Like a wrestling belt, kind of like he had a sash around his midsection. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it's telling you the texture and the color. The texture is what we on. The woolly texture. This would be like a woolly texture. If you've ever touched a lamb or a sheep, that would be wool. This would not be woolly hair. Keep going.
As white as snow.
Keep going.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Now why does it say his eyes? We know he walked the earth. He didn't have red eyes. The reason it says like a flame of fire because Jesus drank wine. Right? Just like we drink wine. So when we drink wine, our eyes turn, like the whites of our eyes are turned red. So that's what that's referring to. Keep going.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Right, so his feet, your feet are the same colors as your body as if it burned in the furnace. So the so-called Jesus was so-called black, right? Wasn't he a Jew? So if he was a black man and he was a Jew, what would that mean? Not sure? Let's get a further description. Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9.
Right.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Right.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Ancient of Days is another name for God, not Jesus. But go ahead.
And the Ancient of Days did sit,
right,
whose garment was white as snow.
Right. God has a garment on, which means he's not just, he's got a human-like appearance. We were made in his likeness. He's got a garment on. Keep going.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Why is it saying God's hair is like pure wool too? Why does he have the same texture that his son Jesus had? Right? Why is Jesus a Jew and we just learned that he's a dark-skinned man, right? But here we are today calling ourselves what? Black, right? But is the word, what is your nationality? You?
Me?
Yeah. What's your nationality?
Black American.
You're a black American. So, where's that posted? You see that right there? So, America is named after that first picture. Amerigo Vespucci, right? He was an Italian map maker, cartographer. That's how America got his name, right? Africa was named after that man, Scipio Africanus, who conquered that land and then named it after himself. So when you say you're an African American, you're literally saying I'm European. You're calling yourself after the same people that brought us on slave ships to this place. This is not our home. So why is it that we don't really know the history of our nationality? Why do we only know about the slave ships and we can't go back any further than that? So wouldn't you like to know where you come from? Because it's right here. We've been learning this Bible from the same people that put us on slave ships. Don't you know that the first slave ship was actually called the good ship Jesus? Right? Did you know that the letter J was not created until the 1600s? So what was his name before this image and before we got off of slave ships? He had a name, and you can look that up. The letter J was not created until the 1600s. So when you're praying in the name of Jesus, is he really dealing with that? Is he really listening to that? That's real world history. Read that to the next one, 10 and 5.
This is Daniel chapter 10, verse 5.
Right.
Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen,
This man right here.
whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz.
He had a silk sash around his belt.
His-
Go ahead.
His body also was like the beryl,
Right. The outfit, beryl is a green. So he had on a green garment. Go ahead.
and his face as the appearance of lightning,
Which means he had a strong countenance. Keep going.
and his eyes as lamps of fire.
Same thing. The eyes of the whites of his eyes was red. Because they remember at one time they tried to say Jesus was a wine bibber. Then he turned water into wine. He actually drank wine, as is commanded on some of the feast days, like the Passover. Go ahead.
And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass.
His arms and his what?
His arms and his feet like in color to polished brass.
So if doesn't matter, if the color of Jesus doesn't matter, why is it all throughout the Bible? I'm just saying these are things we never been taught. So it's saying his arms and his feet are like the color of polished brass. He was a brown skin. He was a so-called black man, or what you would call an African American. Wasn't he from the tribe of Judah? Right? So wouldn't that mean that so-called black people are the real Jews, according to the scriptures you just heard? Read Revelation 2 and 9. You never heard that before?
I've heard it.
Yeah, you are the real Jews. This Bible is your nationality. That's why when somebody say, when they say we come from Africa, there's over 50 countries on the continent of Africa. Why don't we know which country on that continent we come from? I know. Yeah, I know, you got me. You know? That's a real question, right? So we are not Africans. We're not like the African people. You know, actually the Bible, did you know all nationalities are listed in the Bible? Never heard that? You should ask, why isn't African American in the Bible? Why isn't black men listed as black men?